Scott Boda with Steeda Autosports here. Today we'll be installing our S550 Steeda Triax Street Short Throw Shifter fitting all 2015 to 2017 Mustangs. Begin by removing the panel covers in the front of the center console by hand. These are held in place by clips and magnets. Using a 7mm socket, remove the 4 bolts which hold the center console to the transmission tunnel. These are located in the front of the center console under the access panels which you just removed. Unscrew and remove the shift knob. To remove the center console, open the center console storage area and use a flathead screwdriver or a pry tool to detach the plastic center console cover. Lift the parking brake to its highest position. Detach the electrical connector or connectors underneath the cup holder and continue lifting up on the console. Use a flathead or a pry tool to release the 3 prongs holding the shift boot to the reverse lockout collar, and then remove the center console completely. Next, you must press the factory roll pin out of the stock shifter. Put the shift lever into first or second gear and then tap the pin out. The pin will not press out all the way. Use vice grips to pull the roll pin out the remaining distance. Once this pin is removed, remove the spring from the shifter and place the shifter in neutral. To remove the factory reverse lockout collar, use a T20 Torx bit. Next, jack up your car and place it on jack stands. On the front of the shifter base, slide the rubber boot for the shifter linkage off the shifter base. Remove the 2 10mm nuts, securing the shifter base bushing bracket to the chassis. Remove the 4 10mm headed bolts, securing the lower shifter base cap to the shifter base. Be careful not to damage the gasket, located between the lower cap and the shifter base. It will be reused. When the lower cap is removed, the shifter linkage will be able to fall out of the shifter base. Be sure not to lose the bushing that is installed on the end of the shifter linkage. Set the linkage aside while continuing with the removal. Remove the 2 10mm headed bolts securing the shift lever bushing support plate to the shifter base. Remove the shift lever by pulling down on the lever from underneath the car. Remove both bushing cups from the factory shift lever. Transfer both of the bushing cups over to the new Steeda shift lever. Be sure to transfer the large bushing cup first and then the small one. Make sure the bushings are greased. Install the Steeda short throw shifter in reverse order of the factory shift lever. When installing the Steeda shift lever, make sure that the threaded hole, which will hold the reverse lockout collar in place, is facing the passenger side of the vehicle. Install and tighten the shift lever bushing support plate to 84 inch-pounds. Be sure, when reinstalling the shifter linkage, to place both linkage bushings in their correct spots, and that the lower shift lever bushing is firmly seated into the shift linkage cup. Reinstall the shifter base gasket, making sure to place it back over the dowel on the rear of the shifter base. Reinstall the shifter base lower cap onto the shifter base and tighten the 4 10mm headed bolts to 84 inch-pounds. Reinstall the shifter base bushing and mount and tighten the nuts to 97 inch-pounds. Now, from inside the car, install the 2 supplied O-rings onto the grooves of the shift lever. Lubricate around the entire perimeter of both O-rings, making sure to get grease on both the top and bottom faces of the O-rings. This will provide a smooth function of the reverse lockout. Install the Steeda reverse lockout collar orientated so that the vertical slots aligns with the Torx bolt hole. Do not apply Loctite to this bolt as it could prevent smooth operation of the reverse lockout collar. Slide the spring over the shaft of the shift lever and install the 2 supplied 4mm screws into the shift lever. Make sure both are spaced equally in the threaded holes and tighten them down firmly. Reinstall the rubber shift boot by sliding it over the reverse lockout collar and placing it around the edges of the shifter base. Install the white factory sound dam material around the shifter. Reinstall the center console cover and make sure you plug back in the electrical connector or connectors under the cup holder. The car will not start if you do not do this. This will simply snap back into place. Then install the factory white plastic anti-rattle washer on top of the set screws. Install the factory shifter boot and pull up the reverse lockout collar onto the top of the Steeda reverse lockout. Then tighten the 3 set screws evenly to hold the factory collar in place. Make sure they're evenly snug. This piece is Delrin and can strip easily, so please use caution. Install the supplied rubber cord onto the threaded hole of the factory shift knob. You might need to adjust the length of this cord in order to get your gear selector pattern to line up properly. Screw the factory shift knob down onto the Steeda lever. Tighten down firmly until your shift knob aligns with the reverse lockout collar properly. Make sure not to over tighten this piece as the plastic shift pattern emblem on the stock knob can pop out. Reinstall the 4 bolts which hold the front of the center console to the transmission tunnel and snap the front center console access panel back into place to complete the installation. This shifter will provide a 30% shorter throw and eliminate the factory shifter rattle. Congrats! You have now installed your Steeda short throw tri-axe sport shifter. Enjoy, and remember, when choosing Steeda, speed matters.